They worked in the same building for almost a year without ever speaking. Different floors, different schedules. The only thing they truly shared was the elevator ride home, late in the evening, when the offices were quiet and the city felt distant. Most days, they stood in silence, headphones on, nodding politely when the doors opened. One night, the elevator stopped suddenly between floors. Lights stayed on, but the movement froze. She sighed quietly and pulled one earbud out. He laughed under his breath, the sound soft and unguarded. It was the first time she heard his voice. They started talking to pass the time. Not introductions at first, just complaints about the elevator, jokes about being stuck, observations about how strange it felt to pause like this in the middle of a rushed day. She mentioned music. He admitted he always listened to playlists he never shared with anyone. She said she did the same. When the elevator finally moved again, they exchanged names quickly, almost reluctantly, as if the moment was ending too soon. The doors opened, and they went their separate ways, but something had shifted. After that, they noticed each other more. A smile in the elevator. A comment about a song playing faintly through her headphones. One evening, he asked what she was listening to. She hesitated, then answered honestly. He nodded, like it made sense. They never shared playlists digitally. Instead, they described songs to each other, why they mattered, what memory they carried when they were meant to be played. It felt more personal that way, less permanent, more intentional. Weeks passed. Conversations grew longer. Silence became comfortable. One evening, when the elevator ride ended, neither stepped out immediately. He asked if she wanted to walk for a bit instead of going straight home. She said yes. They walked without music, letting the city fill the space instead. Streetlights, distant traffic, shared laughter. When they stopped at a corner, he reached for her hand instinctively. She didn't pull away. They never made a shared playlist. They didn't need to. They became it. A collection of moments, pauses, and songs remembered but never sent, playing quietly between them, exactly when they were meant to be heard. The walks became part of their routine, though neither of them ever called it that. Sometimes they lasted 10 minutes, sometimes an hour. Sometimes they talked the entire way, other times they let silence stretch without discomfort. What mattered was that neither of them reached for their headphones. Music stayed where it belonged, inside, waiting. They learned each other gradually, not through big confessions, but through details. He liked walking at night because the city felt honest then. She liked it because it asked nothing of her. He noticed she always slowed near intersections, as if checking in with herself before crossing. She noticed how he listened fully, never interrupting, as if he treated every sentence like a lyric worth hearing. One evening, rain caught them halfway through a walk. Not enough to run, just enough to soak slowly. They stood under a narrow awning, closer now, sharing warmth without acknowledging it. He joked about how every good moment seemed to arrive unplanned. She agreed, brushing water from her sleeve, her hand lingering near his wrist. That was when the space between them finally closed. The kiss wasn't dramatic. It didn't try to be memorable. It was gentle, certain, and perfectly timed, like the right song coming on when you weren't expecting it. They stayed there longer than necessary, rain falling, city moving around them, neither rushing the moment forward or back. After that night, nothing needed explaining. They still didn't share playlists. Instead, they shared mornings, coffee, quiet evenings, and occasional glances that carried more meaning than words. Music remained personal, but connection became shared. Sometimes, when one of them mentioned a song, the other would smile, knowing exactly why it mattered, without ever hearing it. And that was enough. Because some things aren't meant to be sent, saved, or replayed. They're meant to be felt once, in the right moment, and remembered forever in the silence that follows.